I think we're ready. Yes. Good evening and welcome. If you're in the UK, it's a very spooky evening. It's Halloween night, and I'm going to be reading in a moment a short poem by Edgar Allan Poe. And, well, let's meet the gentleman involved. This is Edgar Allan Poe, and it's his story that I'm going to be reading. And I've got a comment over in chat, and it says, okay, we're live on YouTube, it says. Let's come back and bring the card up on screen. So Edgar Allan Poe is the author of tonight's story. He was born the story was written in 1845. So let's go over here. And fortunately, I recorded this earlier. So I'm about to read The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. Thank you for listening live. Let's go. The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe, published in 1845. Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered weak and weary over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as of someone gently rapping at my chamber door. "'Tis some visitor," I muttered, "tapping at my chamber door. Only this, and nothing more." Ah, distinctly I remember, it was in the bleak December, and each separate dying ember wrote its ghost upon the floor. Eagerly I wished the morrow, vainly I sought to borrow from my books surcease of sorrow for a lost Lenore, for the rare and radiant maiden whom the angels named Lenore, nameless here forevermore. And the silken, sad, and certain rustling of each purple curtain thrilled me, filled me with fantastic terrors never felt before, so that now to the bleating of my heart I stood repeating, "'Tis some visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door, some late visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door. This it is, and nothing more." Presently my soul grew stronger, hesitating no longer. "Sir," said I, or "Madam, truly your forgiveness I implore, but the fact is I was napping, and so you gently came rapping, and so faintly you came tapping at my chamber door. That I was scarce was sure I heard you. Ere I opened the door, wide the door, darkness there, nothing more. Deep into that darkness, peering long, I stood wondering, fearing, doubting, dreaming dreams no mortal ever dreamed to dream before. But the silence was unbroken, and the stillness gave no token, and the only word there spoken was the whispered word, Lenore. This I whispered. An echo murmured back the word, Lenore, merely this and nothing more. Back in the chamber turning, all my soul with me burning, soon again I heard a tapping, somewhat louder than before. "Surely," said I, "surely that is something at my window lattice. Let me see then what threat is this, and this mystery explore. Let my heart be still a moment, and this mystery explore. 'Tis the wind and nothing more." Open here I flung the shutter, when, with many a flirt and flutter, in there stepped a raven of saintly days of yore. Not the obeisance made he, not a minute stopped or stayed he, but with men or lady perched above my chamber door, perched upon the bust of Pallas just above my chamber door, perched sat and nothing more. Then this ebony bird, beguiling my sad fancy into smiling, by the grave and stern decorum of the countenance it wore. "Though thy crest be shorn and shaven, thou," I said, "art sure no craven, ghastly grim and ancient raven, wandering from the nightly shore. Tell me what thy lordly name is on the night's Plutonian shore." Quoth the raven, "Nevermore." Much I marvelled this ungainly fowl to hear discourse so plainly, thought its answer little meaning, little reverence bore, for we cannot help agreeing that no living human being ever yet was blessed with seeing a bird above his chamber door. Bird or beast, upon the sculptured bust above his chamber door, with such name as Nevermore. But the raven, sitting lonely on the placid bust, spoke only that one word, as if his soul in that one word he did outpour. Nothing further then he uttered, not a feather then he fluttered, till I scarcely more than muttered, other friends have flown before, on the morrow he will leave me, as my hopes have flown before. Then the bird said, Nevermore. Startled at the stillness broken by reply so aptly spoken, doubtless, said I, what it utters is only stock and store, caught from some happy master, whom unmerciful disaster followed fast and followed faster, till his song's one burden more, till the dirges of his hope that melancholy burden bore of never, nevermore. But the raven still beguiling all my fancy into smiling, straight I wheeled a cushioned seat in front of bird and bust and door. Then upon the velvet sinking, I betook myself to linking fancy unto fancy, thinking what this ominous bird of yore, what this grim, ungainly, ghastly, and gaunt, and ominous bird of yore meant in croaking nevermore. This I sat engaged in guessing, but no syllable expressing. To the fowl's fiery eyes now burned into my bosom's core. This and more I sat divining, with my head at least reclining on the cushion's velvet lining, that the lamp gloated o'er. But whose velvet violet lining with the lamp light glowing o'er, she shall press our nevermore. Then methought the air grew denser, perfumed from an unseen censer, swung by seraphim whose footfalls tinkled on the tufted floor. Wretch, I cried, thy God hath lent thee, by these angels he hath sent thee, respite, respite, and repentha from my memories of Lenora. Quaff, oh quaff, this nepenthe, and forget this lost Lenora, quoth the raven, nevermore. Prophet, I said, thing of evil, prophet of still, if bird or devil, whether tempest sent or whether tempest tossed thee here ashore, desolate, yet all undaunted, on this desert land enchanted, on my home by horror haunted. Tell me truly, I implore, is there balm in Gilead? Tell me, I implore, quoth the raven, nevermore. Prophet, said I, things of evil, prophet still, if bird or evil, by that heaven that bends above us, by that God we both adore, tell this soul with sorrow laden, with the distant Eden, it shall clasp a saint and maiden, whom the angels named Lenore. Clasp a rare and radiant maiden, whom the angels named Lenore. But that word our sign in parting, bird or fiend, I shrieked upstarting, get thee back into the tempest and the night's Plutonian shore. Leave no black plume as a token of that lie that thy soul hath spoken. Leave my loneliness unbroken. Quit the bust above my door. Take thy beat from out my heart, and take thy form from my door, quoth the raven, nevermore. And the raven, never flitting, still is sitting on the pallid bust of Pallas, just above my chamber door. And his eyes have all the seeming of a demon that is dreaming, and the lamplight o'er him streaming throws his shadow on the floor. And my soul from out that shadow that lies floating on the floor shall be lifted nevermore. Thank you for listening. I can see that there have been several of you. Thank you for spending this 10 minutes with me. I want to say a big thank you to everybody. This has been by way of an indulgence on my part. It's a long time since I actually read Edgar Allan Poe, and it's been good to do it once more. I wish you a happy Halloween, if that's the right phrase, and I'll see you again on Thursday. Thank you. Bye for now.